welcome to Sin City, Las Vegas, Nevada, a town known for its pageantry and big shows. The main event is about to get underway here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Welcome to the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series Quickliner Las Vegas 350 on speed. As Chris Devoto has mentioned many times, it is windy at this racetrack. It is warm and windy. 91 degrees, the wind blowing extremely hard. Down the back stretch, it will take them in to turn number 3. Take a look at our 4-point standings as we look at race 19. This one is through 18. 74 points the difference between Johnny Benson and Ron Hornaday. Those two have separated themselves from the field. Matt Crafton a distance back in third. Hello, everyone. I'm Rick Allen alongside of Phil Parsons and Doug Richard, joining you here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Now, Phil, you have always said it's a different Las Vegas Motor Speedway as of 2 years ago.
Well, we talk about there's been 11 former races here. Right. Jack Sprague's won 2 of them. None of that matters. The only thing that matters is what happened in 2006 and 2007. JB, our point leader, has had 2 top 5 finishes in 2006 and 2007. Ron Hornaday had a top 5 finish in 2006, but had trouble last year late in the race. So I think it's pretty much a push. But nobody really knows because it's a little bit different tire than these guys had last year, and the guys were really struggling with it. It's the first time I remember seeing everybody in the garage area scuffing all their tires for this race. Now, we know that Mike Skinner is starting with a good starting position, but Doug Richard, you're calling the shots for that truck right now. He won this race back in 2006.
How are you doing that, by the way, up here in the booth?
We're doing it very carefully. Slugger Labby has stood in for us down there, and it's great. But we've had a great truck right off the hauler. And not only people looking for notes, I don't even have any notes. I'm the second race into this program. But the biggest thing that we're going to fight and have to deal with, the wind is picking up, and the track conditions are unlike we've ever seen so far today. Track temps 130 plus degrees today, probably be in the 90s. So who watched that DVD race from last year, who knows what the track's going to do? That'll be the guy that stays up front.
And Doug has mentioned we practiced and we qualified in the heat of the sun, and now we're going to race in the coolness of the nighttime. Let's go down for tonight's invocation.
Rise for the presentation of the colors by the veterans of foreign wars, representing all 4 branches of the military, from the Gasper J. Salas Post 2350 from Elko, Nevada. Remain standing for the invocation with Las Vegas Chaplain Joe Freiberger, and remain standing for the national anthem to be sung by the Las Vegas Tenors.
Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day, and we ask that you would grant wisdom and safety to these drivers, their crews, the fire and safety personnel, and all present. And may we ever be mindful that this freedom to be here at this race comes with a cost. And we ask a special blessing for all our men and women who serve in the defense of this great nation. It's in your name that we pray. Amen.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets rang there, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Our flag was always there. Oh, say does that star-spangled
The crowd anticipating another great show in Sin City, Las Vegas, Nevada. The Las Vegas Motor Speedway, site of race 19.
The NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series on Speed is brought to you by Craftsman. Craftsman tools are the official tools of NASCAR. Craftsman at Sears. By True Value, with the tools, products, and advice to start your project right. True Value. Start right. Start here. And by Optima Batteries, the ultimate power source.
And welcome back to Las Vegas Motor Speedway. About 10 minutes until we see the green flag flying here at the racetrack. Another great crowd on hand. We want to take a look at our Optima Batteries track description. A 1.5-mile racetrack, Phil, but after that, everything's changed.
Yeah, completely different. We talk about how different this racetrack is. Nothing mattered the first 9 years we raced here. That's because in 2006, they took the banking and the turns from 12 degrees all the way to 20 degrees. The average speeds went up 13 miles an hour here at this racetrack. You see the straightaways banked at 9 degrees. So this is a complete different racetrack than it was back in 2005.
Also want to look at our Ford race analysis. 219 miles, 146 laps, 350 kilometers. The reason for the name Quickliner Las Vegas 350.
You know, the pit window here today is going to be starting out 55 to 60 laps right there, depending on mileage between the makes.
This is a little bit longer race than we see at a lot of these races. A lot of the Truck Series races are 200 miles,
right.
So 219 miles, a few extra laps. You know, one interesting thing that the Conway guys told me, this racetrack and Lowe's Motor Speedway were both called 1.5 miles. This racetrack is actually 400 feet longer where they run the race on the racetrack than the Lowe's Motor Speedway.
One of the other things about this race being a little bit longer, you have to make at minimum 2 pit stops. And a lot of times in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series, sometimes you can get by on one, but this puts a little more premium on guys on pit road.
Yeah, what they'll do is there's going to be about a 30-lap window that makes it a 2-stop race after that point with that 55 to 60-lap window there. So strategy will play into effect.
Everyone on their feet, they're ready for tonight's command to get the engines fired. Let's go back trackside.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, for the command to get things started in the Quickliner Las Vegas 350, let's welcome back the president of Quickliner, Mr. Juan Carlos Martinez.
Gentlemen, start your engines.
The engines are fired. There are 2 men now battling for a championship, but 29 others on the racetrack battling for the win here tonight at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Another race under the lights for the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. This one the 19th of 25 races to be run. The Quickliner 350 about to get underway, and they will line up as follows. We'll see the starting grid on the bottom of the screen. Ron Hornaday grabbing another pole in his career. Colin Brown, a career best starting position. He will start on the outside of row number 1. We want to shine a spotlight on a few different drivers tonight, learn a little bit more about each one. We're beginning with Bobby East and Ray Dunlap.
Well, thank you, Rick. I think it's been a very interesting year for Bobby East. He has certainly learned a lot about NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series racing. And tonight at Las Vegas Motor Speedway, he makes his final start in the Zaxby's Ford of 2008. Now, he's got some more sprint and midget races coming up this year, but I asked him, what is the goal tonight? And he said, well, we know our truck is much better than where we're going to start tonight. We didn't get to do a qualifying run, and they're going to start 27th deep in the field. But Bobby believes his truck is pretty good, and he's got a shot to move forward. Adam?
And if you looked at the entry list for tonight's race, you did not see the name Stacy Compton, but he is in fact racing starting 29th in the 59 truck. He replaces Ted Musgrave, who parted company with this team earlier today here in Las Vegas. Compton was out here overseeing the operation on the number 18 truck, the team which he is a part of, and spending a little time with his wife Vicky in Las Vegas, but he's been called into action. He'll see if he can bring that truck to the front here this evening. Phil?
Double A, I want to take a look at John Andretti. He's going to do a one-off race for Billy Ballou in the Aragon Toyota. John actually ran 4 races for Billy Ballou back 3 or 4 years ago with a best finish of 8th at Memphis. one of the most talented guys in the garage area. John has impeccable credentials. He's a 2-time Sprint Cup winner at Daytona and Martinsville. He's a top 5 finisher in the Indy 500. He's won road races. He told me he's working on a number of things for next year. He's not sure which series it's going to be in, but one thing he knows for sure, he will be running the Indy 500 in 2009. John will start in the 23rd spot. Doug?
Well, obviously, my spotlight today has to be Mike Skinner.
You've been watching him all day, Doug.
I think keeping a close eye on him, and we've had a little bit of a rough day. It hasn't been uneventful, that's for sure. The practice. We go in, just get ready to end the first practice, and here we are up against the wall. A punctured right rear tire. Go inside, we fix it. We're fastest in the next practice. Here we go for qualifying, and I think we're just a little too loose. But I'll tell you, we recovered though. We turned it around. We went all the way back around. We got our momentum back and put it on the pole there temporarily until we got bumped off it. But we will be starting third, and I think we're going to have a good night for this Toyota Tundra.
Tell you what, how about an amazing save there? The hands, and remember, that's a 50-year-old in there, and he is solid at the wheel to keep that thing off the wall. We are going to ride along with Mike Skinner tonight, and his Toyota onboard camera will give us the shots, and he will start in the 3rd position.
We're also going to ride with our point leader, Johnny Benson, and then another Toyota on board. Johnny has a 74-point lead over Ron Hornaday coming into this race. And Johnny said the rule change of a couple of weeks ago to limit the horsepower on these Toyotas has really hurt them, they think. So he's really not sure what's going to go on the rest of this season with this point battle.
And we've got Todd Bodine in the number 30. That's the Lumber Liquidators Toyota. He's had a fine run today, and we're going to be following along with him.
We want to go back trackside and on pit road with our thoughts before green. We'll start with Ray Dunlap.
Well, thank you, Rick. You know, you guys are talking about the point battle, and how about last year's point battle? Unbelievable between Mike Skinner and Ron Hornaday, and I think we're set up for something very similar this year. Johnny Benson in the last 10 races has had top 5 finishes in every race except for at Memphis. It's unbelievable, but on that same time, Benson has been losing points to Ron Hornaday. Why? Because each and every week, Hornaday is leading the most laps and winning the races. I think it's going to be a great battle as we head towards the finish in Homestead. And guys, keep in mind, our next 2 races on the schedule, Talladega and Martinsville, where anything can happen. Adam?
And you talk about the point standings, Ray. What about the Rookie of the Year standings? Well, the man in front there, Colin Brown. He starts 2nd tonight, his first ever front row start in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. And he's in the same truck that won this race a year ago. Travis Quapple winning from the pole. And history is on his side, because check out the numbers for Roush Fenway Racing here at Las Vegas. 6 wins in the Sprint Cup Series, 4 in Nationwide, and 3 in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. Brown trying to get his first career win here tonight, guys.
Now, we talked a lot about the new configuration. What about different racing lines? Are we going to see guys run on the outside to make passes?
You know, I talked to Johnny Benson a lot before qualifying, and he said he thought they would see a second groove come in extremely well. We've seen Brendan Gaughan do a real nice job here running the high side of the racetrack. As a matter of fact, he had a top 5 finish here last year, so I think we will see multiple grooves here.
Yeah, the more and more rubber that gets laid down on this track, you're going to see trucks go higher and higher as the night goes. It carries a lot of momentum for the straightaway, and that's what everybody's looking.
And we're talking about straightaways. They're going down the backstretch right now. They call it Nellis Straightaway. They have got a considerable wind behind them. Now, they average 170 miles an hour around this 1.5 mile track. How fast are they going when they enter turn 3 with that wind behind them?
They'll be picking up at least 4 to 5 miles an hour with the right headwind. But what you're going to see today is also the draft is going to come into play.
Right.
We could pick up 2 to 3 tenths with the right draft in practice if you caught them just right. But where there's a tailwind, there's also a headwind coming out of 4, which could cause trouble.
The first one to hit that headwind, obviously, will be Ron Hornaday. Again, starting on the pole, he and Colin Brown will bring the field to the green flag. Everyone on their feet as Randy Kaiser takes the pace truck onto the pit road. The field now in the hands of Ron Hornaday as he will bring the field to the green flag as we're about to get underway with the Qwik Liner Las Vegas 350. Green flag in the air.
Good start by Hornaday, which, you know, it's a huge surprise.
We expect that every time. Hornaday jumps out to the lead as they go down the backstretch. the momentum, and not just going through the turns, but the momentum that he brings over the past few weeks has got to be a confidence builder for Ron Hornaday.
Hey, anytime when you can run like Ron Hornaday's running here in these races, it's very good momentum and good run, good wins. It's all momentum going into these final races for the championship.
Johnny Benson not wanting to let Ron Hornaday get out of his sights. He's got a 74-point championship lead. He currently runs third. Mike Skinner with a huge run through turn number 2, all over the back bumper of Ron Hornaday.
Yeah, Doug's truck right now, as you see, Mike Skinner look to the inside, was fastest in the first practice and fastest in happy hour.
Take a look at this. Todd Bodine takes third away from Johnny Benson. So Benson will drop back to fourth. Todd Bodine gets up there. It's a Chevrolet and 3 Toyotas lined up. Here's a pass for the lead. Mike Skinner tries to take it away. He will lead that lap.
Ron Hornaday going to pick right up where he left off in practice.
Everybody's out here right now. Everybody's jockeying for position. Everybody wants that clean air on their nose because you need that downforce to really keep a truck turning. Hopefully it's not too loose when you get it in front like that, but we'll make changes through the night. They'll keep adjusting on it. But we got the,
wow, Ron Hornaday about lost it there. Had to catch it and go back up the track. We've got a spinner coming out of turn number 4. It looks like the 07 gets spun around, and so Sean Murphy hanging on to it. That brings out our first caution of the night. And we have seen some problems with turn number 4 all through practice today. And even in qualifying, there was guys that were having a hard time keeping that back end behind them.
Yeah, right now the shade is obviously on the racetrack. You know, when the guys qualified, they were pretty much in the sun. So you would thought you would have some more grip. But it looked like Ron Hornaday had a big time wiggle or something over there in turn 4. And he lost a lot of momentum. There's a spin right there. That's Sean Murphy. He was by himself. A great one truck incident right there.
That's very typical. What we've been seeing here today is the complaint is the truck will go in there, it'll get in the middle of the corner, and all of a sudden just snap loose. And what you saw him do there as he exited turn 4, the back end just broke around, and there's no saving it.
Your driver actually mentioned to that in drivers' meetings today. He said we were snappy loose. The truck was snappy loose.
And that snappy loose is a terrible feeling because you don't know when it's going to get loose. If you went in the corner and you were steering it loose all the way through, you know how to control it. But it's unpredictable, and that's what these drivers don't like, and that's what we have to work so hard on all during practice to try to ride over the bumps and get the shocks and spring combinations that doesn't do that.
We see Todd Bodine riding right now in the second spot. Let's take a look back at how he got second away from Ron Hornaday. This is Ron Hornaday. You see him have to chase that truck up the hill. He lost all his momentum. Todd just drove by him on the inside.
Yeah, and Ron, there again, was right down on the bottom. His truck got loose. He had to drive it up the track, and he lost his momentum, and Todd passed him.
Mike Skinner fastest in the first practice, fastest in the final practice, and now fastest on the racetrack. He leads this field. Todd Bodine chasing him in second. Speed Fanatics, Atlanta Motor Speedway is giving NASCAR Craftsman Truck and Sprint Cup ticket holders a chance to upgrade their tickets from the seat to the suite. Bring your Craftsman Truck or Sprint Cup ticket to the speed stage the morning of the race. Enter to win a seat to the suite upgrade, which includes pre-race pit road access and 2 Atlanta Motor Speedway suite tickets. Visit AtlantaMotorSpeedway.com. There is the Las Vegas Strip. A lot of people, obviously fortunes won and lost in that area. And right now, fortunes are trying to be won here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway, this 1.5-mile racetrack. Somebody who was fortunate with this caution is Norm Benning. He gets the Aaron's lucky dog, so he will get a lap back. He had a problem with his race truck. I think the window net went down, and so he will get that lap back. Adam Alexander.
And guys, we're monitoring radio communication for Colin Brown in the 6 truck. It's not been as good as they would like as far as static is concerned with crew chief Mike Beam. He's not been hearing the spotter or Colin Brown, the driver, very well. So what they have done is they have reworked the antenna here high above the pit box, hoping that will help things as we get set for the restart.
Green flag back in the air. Mike Skinner followed by Todd Bodine, Ron Hornaday, and Johnny Benson.
Hornaday peeks to the outside.
Here comes Colin Brown on the inside. It's 2 wide as they go into 1, 3 wide. Colin Brown decides to back off. And Todd Bodine makes the move. He will take the lead away from Mike Skinner.
How about that? Now Ron Hornaday's trying to come with Todd Bodine on the inside.
Ron Hornaday can't hold on. He's got to back off as Skinner continues to keep the pedal to the metal as they go through turn 4.
Crawford pulls to the outside of Chad McCumbee in a battle for the 4th spot.
2 and 3 wide. There's 10th on back. Dennis Setzer on the inside, and that 18. 3 wide doesn't work here at Atlanta very well.
Looked like the 11 of David Starr may have scraped the wall a little bit there entering turn number 1.
We're actually in Las Vegas. I was a little excited. I thought we might have been moved to Atlanta already.
Well, we'll do that in a few weeks.
3 wide doesn't work in Atlanta either. 2 wide again. Chad McCumbee looking to the inside of Ron Hornaday now.
This is Johnny Benson's Toyota onboard. We're watching this battle. Mike Skinner chasing Todd Bodine back down.
You just...
Adam Alexander, what's going on with Todd?
He's been quiet on the radio, but we should point out the king of 1.5 mile racetracks is Todd Bodine, and the reason is 8 wins and 36 starts. As you see Mike Skinner go to the inside, a brand new race truck for Bodine, working good in the early going, Ray.
And let's talk about Chad McCumbee a little bit. He thought the outside line was going to be really good on that initial restart, but his truck didn't come up the way he wanted it to on air pressure. But he said now the truck is much better. McCumbee up into 4th place right now, having a good battle with Rick Crawford back there. And guys, Chad McCumbee in a brand new chassis tonight. It's race truck number 11 for the guys over at Malcolm's Construction number 8 team, and he believes he's got a truck that very well may be good enough to win this race tonight at Las Vegas.
Chad McCumbee thinks that, but for some reason the odds makers here had him at 50 to 1 at winning this race. Here's another look at our 11 truck, Phil.
Yeah, the 11 truck of David Starr, we noticed just a few moments ago as they entered turn number 1, he got a little bit wide. It looked like he may have scraped the wall. Watch this now. He's on the outside. That black truck looked like, I think that may have been just dust. I don't believe he actually made any contact with the outside wall, but he's in a good battle with that 9 of Justin Marks, Justin able to get by David Starr.
Now, a week ago, obviously, the tempers flew when the 11 got on the inside of the 9 and spun, at that time, David Rudeman, who was driving that truck.
See our point battle right there. There's our point leader, the black truck of Johnny Benson, the Exide battery Toyota. Just a few moments ago, he was able to pass our runner-up right now in the points, Ron Hornaday. So we've got a point battle. We've got a point battle right within this race.
And if history would repeat itself at this racetrack, the pole winner normally ends up pretty good, actually, in victory lane under this configuration. The last 2 races have happened that way. Ron Hornaday, our pole sitter, now dropping back through the field.
Yeah, look how much of a gap right now that Johnny Benson has put on Ron Hornaday. So right now, Ron Hornaday looks like he may be struggling with that truck a little bit.
Yeah, we haven't really saw a real close-up shot of the 33 truck, but he could be still a little bit too loose, and he might just be biding some time right now to get to that first pit stop, to make those adjustments and get his truck better.
Adam Alexander, what's going on with our point leader?
Well, you guys talk about the importance of starting up front and how beneficial that is. Johnny Benson, though, made it known a year ago you can start deep in the field and have a good run. Started 22nd last year to Johnny Benson, made his way through, led 14 laps before finishing 2nd to Travis Quapple. He's looking good tonight. Benson currently scored 5th where he started 13 laps ago, Ray.
And Ron Hornaday just came on the radio and said, Ren, we should not have done what you did to the left rear shock. Of course, he's talking about crew chief Rick Wren, and I don't know what they did to the left rear shock, but whatever it was, Ron Hornaday does not like it. Now, Rick Wren told me right before the race he was going to make a couple little changes on this truck after practice to try to make it so when they come in for the first pit stop, they're very, very flexible on their adjustments. Whatever he did, Ron Hornaday didn't like it.
Ron Hornaday again scored back in the 7th position, but up front it's Mike Skinner and Todd Bodine. Those two have pulled away from the field. They have put 3 seconds between themselves and 3rd place Chad McCumbee. Johnny Benson, your points leader, in 4th. Rick Crawford rounds out our top 5. Sunday, the wind tunnel crew is all fired up about the NASCAR Chase, Formula One's first ever night race, and who will clinch the championship titles in the world of motorsports. Greg Biffle, Shane Carson joining Dave on wind tunnel. Sunday, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific, only on Speed. How about the battle for the lead here?
I'll tell you who's fired up right now. It's Todd Bodine. He just drove by that 5 truck of Mike Skinner.
Yeah, we've been watching these guys battle back and forth. You know, they get in behind and they get this arrow tight. You can see it all night. Here's the 30. He gets a run on the 5, and he just carries it right on by. You think you'll see that the 5 truck's probably just a little bit too tight. They're going to want to work on that truck on the first pit stop, but he's carried right underneath. He makes the pass, but also you've got the 23 truck of Johnny Benson seems to be closing in a little bit on him.
Hey Doug, what will the crew chief on the 5 do?
I think right now that crew chief should probably be thinking maybe about some slight air pressure changes, maybe a little bit of track bar.
No, I think the crew chief ought to keep doing broadcasting.
Yeah, Johnny Benson is the fastest truck on the racetrack. He actually ran his fastest lap of the race just a couple laps ago. And that lap, he was 0.2 of a second quicker than our leader, Todd Bodine.
But Slugger Labbe on the left of your screen. He's filling in. Obviously, if you don't know, Doug Richards actually up here in the broadcast booth with us, but he is the crew chief for the 5. So Slugger Labbe filling in at this race.
Yeah, Slugger has really been working with Scott Speed this entire season. Scott Speed is our ARCA Remax point leader with only 3 races to go. And Slugger's also going to be with, got trouble off of turn 4.
Problems in turn number 4. That is
Justin Marks.
The 9 of Justin Marks. Apologize. Justin saves it. He keeps it out of the wall.
Didn't hit a thing either. Now that
brings out our second caution of the night. So Justin Marks spinning out of turn number 4. We've seen that before. Sean Murphy did it earlier on lap number 4, bringing out our first caution. And this one on lap 24 is when Justin Marks gets turned around. So the second caution of the night, 24 laps into this race. Crew chief, are we bringing them all in?
Oh, I think definitely you're going to see a lot of them come in. You say a lot of guys were struggling. A lot of guys are on their tires from qualifying that maybe they didn't like so much. They're going to be making them air pressure changes and chassis adjustments. I think you'll see most of them on pit road here.
Nearly halfway through a fuel run. Again, we talked about the fuel window being 55 to 60 laps. And so now as we have completed 24 laps, going on lap 25, we expect to see the field make their way onto pit road. So now the pit road crews will get up on the wall, get ready to service these vehicles, try to maybe tighten up that 33 of Ron Hornaday. He's had his hands full all this whole start of the race. So obviously some changes are going to have to be made to quite a few trucks to make them contenders in this race.
And what we've talked about is all the practicing went on during the day in the hot sunshine, as Doug talked about earlier, with track temperature probably 25 to 30 degrees hotter than it is right now. So, you know, it's awfully hard, isn't it, Doug, to predict what this racetrack's going to do at night.
It is hard to predict, and in our case, it's a no-brainer. We spun on those tires. The left rear had cuts in it, but we didn't want to jeopardize our track position that we had from qualifying, so we elected to start and try to hang on. I think we'll make some minor changes. It's awfully a good truck tonight, but there's guys coming in. We got to watch out for Johnny Benson and a lot of these other guys that will make adjustments and get their truck better.
Pit road is open. The field is on their way down pit road right now.
And the question is, will they make any adjustments, Doug? The truck of Todd Bodine handling so good in the early going, they will not. 4 tires and fuel for the race leader as he comes in for service at lap 25. And just a few pit stalls in front of him, point leader Johnny Benson is in. He too says the truck is coming to him. 4 tires, fuel, no changes there to Ray Dunlap.
In the middle of the screen, Adam, you saw Mike Skinner. He was a little bit loose. Now his crew chief Slugger Labbe told him his next set of tires was going to help tighten him up, but they also decided to go down 1/2 round on the track bar. Skinner came in 3rd, and he'll go out probably 10th, it looks like.
Yeah, we see a lot of guys that did a lot of pit strategy. We see Donnie Leah came out with a 20-spot gain, came out in 2nd spot. You see Justin Marks, he has a broken transmission, so he pulled over in the grass at just about the exit of pit road.
NASCAR asked him to do that so he would stay out of the way of the field as they are exiting pit road. And as the final trucks are making their way off, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back with more from Las Vegas after these messages. Next Thursday on Wreck, the tractor trailer is twisted and jammed under a bridge, but that's only the tip of the iceberg. The pace is frantic, the pressure piles on, the bill breaks down. Don't miss an all-new episode of Wreck, Thursday night, 10 Eastern, 7 Pacific, exclusively right here on Speed. Sean Murphy is the Aaron's Lucky Dog recipient, so he will get a lap back. Sean Murphy brought out our first caution of the day back on lap 4, so they've been working on getting that truck right, and he will get a lap back. Let's go back trackside to Adam Alexander.
Track position is everything, and that's the key for Johnny Benson. They talked about 4 tires on that first stop, changed their mind. Fuel only for the point leader, and that's why he is the man out front as we get set to go back to green.
That's a big gamble, I would think there. A fuel-only stop 24 laps into this race?
No, I don't think it is, because track position is important. We watched it all night already. Guys getting in behind and just can't complete the pass because they don't have enough air in the front end. And we're back to green now. They're single file, getting ready to go back into turn 1. Let's see who's got the better truck now.
And a lot of the guys, and I'm sure you realize it too, the tires got better and better and better and faster as practice went on this morning.
And it was. And some of the guys, like I thought the 5 was too tight, but he was a little loose. So those notes, the DVDs from the first race of last year, are, you know, who did the best job? And obviously the track is a little bit looser now than it was today. So that's the adjustment you got to make to keep up with the racetrack.
There's Todd Bodine right there, the Lumber Liquidators Toyota, moving to the inside of Chad McCumbee. Todd's going to take over that 5th position.
And we've
Actually,
seen
Todd's all the way up. Yeah, Todd is. That's his 5th position. Then he drifts up a little bit in the center of the corner, right up in front of Chad McCumbee.
We've seen Todd make the move to the front already in this race, so he's going to try to do it again. A familiar truck up toward the front is at 51, but it's not Kyle Busch driving it. Kyle Busch was back on the East Coast today, winning a nationwide race, his 19th NASCAR race of the season. He won that race. It's Shane Sieg that's piloting the 51, running second in this race now.
Yeah, I talked to Richie Waters at Qwik. He found that 51 truck, whether Shane drives it or Kyle or whoever, and he said Shane was really doing a nice job. They had a pretty good truck. He thought they started out practice pretty good. They kept changing it, actually making it worse. He said we went right back to how we unloaded, and he thought they had a pretty good truck, Adam.
And what helped them in this pit cycle, Phil, is the fact that they took no tires. So they went the same route as Johnny Benson, going track position early, staying with the 4 tires they started the race, and it looks like it's working out. Sieg running right behind Johnny Benson, the point leader, unable to check out.
And guess what, Adam? The last 2 laps, he has run his fastest lap of the race. So Shane Sieg, no tires, is working for him, Doug.
And it is. And the other thing that you'll see here, the guys that didn't get tires already had heat in the tires. The air pressure was already built up, so they're taking off. These guys in the back got 4 tires. It takes 5 to 7 laps for these tires to really get up to speed and start feeling good. It's a really loose truck when you get those new tires like that.
You know, when we moved to the tapered spacer at every racetrack, I think we thought maybe that the draft was going to play a bigger role in the racing. But now that we've come to these 1.5-mile racetracks, and even the mile racetracks we've been at, they have said more and more the draft is really important.
Yeah, I saw sometimes probably 3 to 4 tenths of a second faster when you would get a sniff of a draft on the straightaways or behind another truck. So the draft definitely, I think, is more effective now because these trucks have about 75 less horsepower than they had last year.
Side-by-side racing continuing back in the field. Ron Hornaday trying to get by that 09 of Bobby East. Again, Ron Hornaday fighting back after starting on the pole today. He scored 14th on the racetrack right now. The guy moving up toward the front, Mike Skinner, has moved back up to the 8th position. It's Johnny Benson that's leading everyone. Here comes Rick Crawford trying to take second away from Shane Sieg. He'll do it. Todd Bodine will follow right in his tire tracks.
Yeah, Shane Sieg right now very wisely backed off when Rick Crawford drove down underneath him. Said no sense battling this early. I know I didn't get any tires that time, so let me just back off, follow these guys. Maybe I can learn something.
Just even when you don't even change tires, the balance shift because of putting all the fuel behind those tires like that, it's a pendulum and it wants to swing that truck loose, and they'll have to overcome that. Is to burn the fuel off, the nose percent keeps coming up and up, and it just feels better and better.
That's really one of the worst scenarios, isn't it, Doug, to put fill a thing full of fuel with the old tires, even though Johnny Benson right now is our leader. But that's most of the time you hardly ever do that in practice or in the race conditions.
Yeah, that's unheard of because of such a balance shift. But they do it here. It's track position. They want the aero.
Adam Alexander.
And we talk about varying pit strategies. You mentioned Rick Crawford, who's currently riding in the 2nd position. He took right side tires. So the leader, Johnny Benson, no tires. Right side tires for Rick Crawford. And the guy who got 4, Todd Bodine, the man on the move. Ray?
And Adam, a lot of people might wonder, why is Ron Hornaday back in 13th right now? Well, you remember I told you he did not like that shock situation they had on the left rear? Well, they made a big change. And when you do that, a person physically has to go under the truck to actually change the clicks on the shock, and that gives you a slow pit stop. So that's part of the reason why Hornaday's back where he is. But Hornaday saying they needed to make that change because he just didn't feel like the truck was good on exit off of the corners.
Well, Ray, he's pretty good right now. He just drove by Bobby East and now driving by Dennis Stetzer and that 18 truck as well, gaining a couple spots.
It looks like he's able to just hold it right there on the white line, and that's what you want to do. He doesn't look like he's quite as loose as he was earlier, so obviously those changes probably helped that truck.
Hornaday restarted 16th. He's scored now in the 11th spot, so he's made up 5 positions already after the restart. Continuing side-by-side racing, Jeff Green in the 40 on the inside, and Ron Hornaday gets by him.
That'll move him up into the 10th spot, back up into the top 10. There's a battle for 4th. That's Colin Brown, the Conway Ford, getting by that 51 Mikosuki Toyota of Shane Sieg. Looks like Eric Darnell, that Northern Tool and Equipment Ford's going to follow him along.
Special paint scheme for Eric Darnell and that Northern Tool and Equipment.
A boy named Tracy Hutchins from Martinsville, Virginia, was the guy that designed that paint scheme. Caution on the racetrack.
3rd caution of the night. And this one quite possibly is for debris. Actually, no, it's Stacy Compton that has problems with the right side of that truck. Look at that. There had to have been some contact made there.
Yeah, what a horrible day for Harris Trucking, Jim Harris, Team ASC. We documented the fact that Ted Musgrave lost a truck in practice and then left the team. Stacy Compton jumped on board, talked to Danny Rollins, the crew chief. He said he really had to be careful in qualifying because we didn't have another backup vehicle, obviously this far out west, but unfortunately a lot of damage for Stacy Compton. There's Trip Bruce right now, crew chief on our leader, Johnny Benson.
Johnny Benson in front of the field. Todd Bodine runs 2nd. Crawford has run fairly strong up in the 3rd position. Our Aaron's lucky dog goes to the 0-7, so Sean Murphy will get another lap back as he will be on the lead lap. That makes 27 trucks. And again, welcome back to the Quickliner Las Vegas 350. They're doing obviously some more work on that 59. Stacy Compton just got into the wall in the 59. He made the hard left turn, went behind the wall into the garage area, and their night more than likely is over.
I would think so too. And what a rough weekend for Jim Harris and that entire team. And they'll get back, and I talked to Danny Rollins. He said they really don't know what they're going to do beyond tonight. They're going to get back to the shop and sit down and discuss what they're going to do in the future.
They've got 2 weeks. Obviously, our next race isn't until Talladega, so they've got 2 weeks to work on it. But that's really not a lot of time as we're so late in the season.
There was enough damage on both those trucks from this weekend that it's going to take way more than 2 weeks to get those trucks back in line there. So,
speaking of in line, everyone is in line right behind the 23 of Johnny Benson. Green flag will go back in the air, and we're back to racing. Not going to back up is Todd Bodine. He moves to the inside, battling for the lead on the first lap of our restart.
Yeah, Todd Bodine took advantage on the very start of this restart here and took advantage. And then look at Rick Crawford's going to come along as well.
Trying to ride on the Todd Bodine train right now. Rick Crawford hangs back there, and here comes another Ford, the 6 of Colin Brown.
Johnny's going to try to hang tough on the outside. Looks like Johnny's going to be able to keep that 3rd spot. About half the field came down pit road that caution flag. From Jeff Green on back, Jeff Green was the highest placed truck, running about 12th when the caution came out.
Some more side-by-side racing. Eric Darnell on the inside. There goes Matt Crafton on the outside. That's a battle for 5th. Matt Crafton's going to win it. And it looks like momentum is very key on this racetrack now.
You can watch these guys. They get in the corner. They either get a little loose, and if they check up just that slightest little bit, you'll see that guy behind him just all but run over him. 3 wide now, crossing the line with Skinner on the inside. I think his truck looks like he's just a little bit too loose to be able to use the throttle like he needs to.
Hornaday able to get by both those trucks. Chad McCumbee in the 8 truck and the 5 of Mike Skinner.
So Hornaday making the move on the outside, so that line worked for him. Mike Skinner just in front of the 8 of Chad McCumbee. Again, those 2 trucks were battling side by side with Hornaday on the outside, and Hornaday slingshots around them, moves up into the 8th spot.
It really looks like Rick Wren has really helped that 33 truck of Ron Hornaday. We saw him struggle at the beginning of the race, actually go backwards, and now he's moving forward.
Yeah, he's making some really good ground. So whatever those adjustments were, with the shock, they obviously knew there's a battle for 2nd. Johnny Benson takes it from Rick Crawford. His truck looks really good, even though he doesn't have the tires right now.
It was Rick Crawford that jumped out in front of Johnny Benson on the restart. It was Todd Bodine that's been able to get by Benson and take over the lead. And then Crawford got by Benson, but now Benson trying to move back up, use that momentum, and reel that 30 back in.
You remember, Todd Bodine got tires on that pit stop on lap number 25. Johnny Benson did not.
Taking a look at Matt Crafton in the Menard Chevrolet, that number 88, bright fluorescent orange. Got his first win on a 1.5-mile racetrack this year, Lowe's Motor Speedway. Looking to make it 2 in that 88. The 18 a little bit further back in the field. Adam, what's going on with him?
And actually, he's picked up some ground since the restart, Rick. But the problem for Dennis Setzer, they had to come down pit road and lost a ton of track position. He said the truck shutting off down the straightaways. They went to the backup box. It didn't help. Now he has made progress. He's gained 5 spots since we went back green. But unfortunately, they don't know exactly where the problems are. We'll continue to keep our eye on Setzer as he progresses through the field, Ray.
Well, Adam, let's talk about Chad McCumbee a little bit. Back to 9th right now. They put right side tires on only on lap number 25. They went down around on the track bar, but McCumbee continuing to slip backwards a little bit, saying that he feels like the truck is just not handling in the center of the corner. Randy Dean, his crew chief, is worried that they may have a flat tire on the number 8.
Yeah, Ray, he's definitely off the pace right now. He lost 5 positions. He's getting passed right now by TJ Bell.
Yeah, the field is starting to pass him now as he slows down on the racetrack. He's obviously going to make the hard left turn onto pit road as he comes out of turn 4.
Now looking at the right rear tire right there, we had a small shot of it. It looks like he could have a right rear tire going down. It looked like it was a little soft.
You got an idea of what that's like, right?
Yeah, he just didn't quite come on all the way around like we did earlier. So, you know, here it is. It could be a little bit low. He was definitely feeling something there that wasn't going to let him drive down in here.
4th and 5th, Rick Crawford holding that 4th spot. Matt Crafton just behind him trying to take it away. Crafton to the bottom of the racetrack. Crawford drifts a bit higher as they come out of turn number 4. Crafton's going to take the spot away as they cross the stripe.
You know, it's amazing when we came here 2 years ago when they reconfigured this racetrack. In practice, everybody was talking about how rough the racetrack was. You weren't going to be able to pass anybody. They dropped the green flag. These guys went everywhere. We had one of the best races we ever had here.
Unbelievable. Ray, what are they doing down there to the 8?
Well, they thought it was a right side rear tire that was flat, but whenever the crew went around, they said there was no flat on the right, so they went with a 4-tire change for McCumbee. The bad part was it was under green, and that was at lap 50. I don't know, guys. Don't think he can overcome that one. How about you?
Well, he's going to have to rely on the Aaron's lucky dog to possibly get back on the lead lap.
Here's the battle for the lead. That's Todd Bodine just in front of Johnny Benson. Benson really at the restart dropped back a couple spots, but as you had mentioned earlier, Doug, it takes him a couple laps to get warmed up and going again.
His fastest lap of the race was 3 laps ago, the entire race, and remember, he's on the same tires he started with.
Yeah, so that truck is obviously working good for Trip Bruce and Johnny Benson there. To be able to hold on to Todd, you can see him drive down. That's that draft right there working. Drive it in on that truck, but as soon as they get to the corner, now he's got an aero problem because it won't have enough downforce to complete that corner.
What does he got to do? Take a different line? I mean, should he run out of the draft of Todd Bodine when he gets into the turns?
You can do that, but as you change lines, it changes the handling also if you didn't have arrows. So they'll be sniffing around trying to get a run on them to have a right amount of air on the nose just to complete the pass.
We saw this earlier. 2 trucks have separated themselves from the pack, and it seems to be the same 2 trucks. I mean, Todd Bodine and Johnny Benson seem to be the class of the field right now at this track.
Well, they really do. We're not sure who's going to emerge. You know, we saw Mike Skinner look strong, awfully strong early. Right now, he's back in the 11th spot. We saw Ron Hornaday strong at the very beginning. He's making his way back towards the front. He's up to the 7th position now after restarting after his pit stop way back into the teens.
Adam Alexander.
And we've talked tonight about Johnny Benson and Mike Skinner. In fact, Phil just mentioning Skinner a moment ago running in the 11th position. But what about their other teammates? Scott Speed running in the 21st position. Not what they expected, but he's battling a number of issues. He said he really doesn't know what to do. They came in under that last pit stop, made a handful of changes, right side tires, in hopes that Speed will make some progress to the front. Currently being scored 20th right now is Scott Speed. Ray?
Adam, when I went down to the MRD pit, we found out there was a loose lug nut on the number 8 truck for Chad McCumbee, and he has just come back on the radio and said, I've got a terrible vibration All the crew members said, we got them tight this time, it should be fine. But it could be a big problem for Chad McCumbee, saying his vibration continues after they put on 4 tires.
Take a look at this. Johnny Benson all over the back bumper of Todd Bodine. He looks to the inside, tries to take the lead away.
I think Todd Bodine realized that Johnny Benson was faster than him. He ran him down. Johnny got a run to the inside. Todd backed off, let him go.
And that was a very smart move right there, because the guy on the inside, he's going to lose the air on the spoiler, no side force, and what's it cause? Caused the big one.
1 and 2 have separated themselves by over 3 seconds again. And look at the separation between Johnny Benson and Ron Hornaday in the points.
Yeah, that's right, because Ryan Hornaday right now runs in the 7th position. JB our leader, but we've seen this point battle flip-flop all last year between Ron Hornaday and Mike Skinner, and we're going to see it flip-flop again. Maybe not flip-flop, but we see Ron Hornaday inching ever so much closer to our point leader, Johnny Benson.
The lights are on here at Viva Las Vegas, Las Vegas Motor Speedway. The excitement continues. Welcome back. Quickliner Las Vegas 350 continuing for the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. It's our 19th stop of the 2008 season. Our points leader Johnny Benson also leading this race. He's put a little over a second between he and second place Todd Bodine. Colin Brown has moved up into the 3rd spot. Matt Crafton back to 4th, and Eric Darnell rounding out our top 5. It's been a very impressive start for Johnny Benson. Adam Alexander, what's happening with him?
And imagine that he's doing this having not changed tires yet tonight. 63 laps on that same set of Goodyears. And he's been very quiet on the radio. The reason why he's out front and not being contested by anyone. And the one guy who has challenged him tonight, the guy who's running behind him, we're talking about Todd Bodine. Now, Todd has won here not only in a truck that happened in 2004, he also has a nationwide series win here at Las Vegas. He's saying the truck is tight on exit. He runs second, 63 laps in. And right behind him, a guy that has no experience at all here at Las Vegas. We're talking about Rookie of the Year point leader Colin Brown. He continues to talk about his truck being free, and this is an important time of year for this race team. They have already announced
Problems with Johnny Benson. He gets into the wall. Not only was he your race leader, he is your points leader, but that could change tonight.
Hey, 64 laps on those tires. We saw some people wear out some tires in practice, Doug.
Well, that's a lot of laps on one set of tires right there. And what it looks like to me is he's probably cut the right front for sure. We'll have to examine that tire, if it's camber related or if he run over something.
Look at the damage on the right front of that truck.
Incredible amount of damage. There's Trip Bruce right there, the crew chief. He knows he's going to have to head to the garage.
Potentially terminal damage for Johnny Benson. Adam.
Just came on the radio. Trip Bruce said, "What do you got?" And he said, "It's junk. It's complete junk." They told him to go straight to the Truck Series garage. A big-time twist in the championship picture with 8 races remaining.
Boy, it sure is. After we run about 2 laps, we saw the points as of now a few moments ago.
Yeah, 113.
We will have a new point leader more than likely after a couple laps, and with Johnny Benson not going around the racetrack and all the lead lap trucks circulating.
Johnny Benson could be scored as far back as 27th in this race.
Here's the 23 as he enters turn 1 there. He sees right in line, and then you start sparking. The right front tire goes down, and that's a huge impact right there. That caused a lot of damage, as we could see as it got on pit road.
Yeah, let's listen in to Johnny Benson. This is what he heard. Yeah.
You hear the rubber slapping and flopping around that sheet metal right before he impacts the wall.
You have to cringe when you hear something like that, and that is obviously a very difficult situation for this team. But these teams prepare for things like that. They bring extra noses and all this because they're in a points battle right now.
That's why you heard Trip Bruce say, "What do we got?" He wants to start assessing the damage in his head. Those guys are running to the garage right now, trying to gather every piece. They'll get that truck back on the racetrack somehow.
The field coming down pit road now led by the 30 of Todd Bodine. Adam Alexander.
And Todd Bodine had talked about being tight on exit, but they're talking no changes. 4 tires and fuel, the call for the crew chief, Mike Hillman Sr. And then the young kid pitting right in front of him. We're talking about Colin Brown. He's been a little bit free. They think it will be better as the run continues. They're expecting 4 tires on the 6 truck as well. To Ray Dunlap.
They'll make an air pressure adjustment on the Camping World Chevrolet, but no chassis adjustments. Hornaday saying the truck is so much better coming off the corner than it was earlier. They told Skip Dugan to make sure you pack this thing full of fuel. They've got plenty in there, hoping to pick up a couple positions. Hornaday came in 5th. That's about where he'll go back out of the pits.
Take a look at the race off pit road. Mike Skinner, what a great job that team did. Moved up 9 spots.
Yeah, some more strategy right there. More than likely 2 tires, right, Doug?
Yeah, I'm gonna guess right. I wasn't keeping a very good eye on it. I have to knock myself in the head for not paying attention. But track position is obviously in their mind. They probably made some quick wedge adjustments of some sort just to try to get that truck tightened up.
There's our Aaron's lucky dog right there, John Andretti. There's JB already out of the truck in the garage here. Trip Roos there on the left.
Take a look at this. The points as of now, Johnny Benson, the point leader, but only by 4 over Ron Hornaday. And that is going to change as the laps continue to pile up against Johnny Benson. Welcome back to Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Unbelievable developments taking place in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. This, the 19th race of the season. We had a pretty good points battle coming into this race. There were 74 points separating Johnny Benson and Ron Hornaday. Well, Johnny Benson leading this race just cut a right front tire down and smashed into the wall.
Yeah, and there goes what the majority of his point lead right there when that right front tire went down.
Take a look at riding along with Johnny. That hard hit. He took the hard left turn, went into the garage area, and we've seen Johnny out of the truck already. They're going to work on the truck, but Johnny Benson is not in that truck, and actually he left the garage area to let them work on it.
Yeah, nobody wants to see this right here as a crew chief working on this truck, just looking at that damage going, oh my gosh, how am I going to get this truck back out there? I got to make laps. I got to gather points. I can't sit here and just fall out of the race.
Yeah, for a driver like Johnny Benson right now to have to get it out of that truck, you know, he right now, he told me before the race that because of the rule change, he's, you know, he's really worried they're not going to be able to compete with Ron Hornaday. Obviously, Johnny Benson had a great truck tonight. He was certainly competing. It didn't matter whether they had a rule change or not, but unfortunately that right front tire goes down. And look, right now Johnny Benson is shown in the 27th spot. I really don't think that's going to change. That's probably where he's going to end up unless he can get back to the racetrack pretty quick. And I tell you, there's a lot of damage to that truck.
Yeah, there was a lot of damage there, and it could be terminal.
Johnny Benson still shown as the point leader, but things are going to change, obviously. Johnny Benson had led the most laps in this race until getting into the wall, so he was getting a couple extra bonus points in this. Hornaday is either going to close the gap or grab that lead by the end of this race.
Yeah, if Ron Hornaday can gain 3 or 4 more positions, he will probably leave this race with a point lead. But hey, something can happen to Ron Hornaday too. Remember, it happened to him last year here.
Now, are we saying that Matt Crafton could be back into this thing? He was 3rd in the point standings.
Well, that's what's going to happen by the virtue of the fact that Johnny Benson had trouble. He's going to bring Matt Crafton, maybe Todd Bodine back into the picture a little bit.
And you never know. If Hornaday has a problem, we're going to bring in all sorts of guys to this championship fight.
Right now, as of now, Mike Skinner is our 3rd place guy in the points.
And he brings the field back to the green flag, back underway. Mike Skinner getting a push from Jeff Green in the number 40. Eric Darnell runs 3rd. Colin Brown 4th. Dennis Setzer in your top 5.
See Chad McCumbee on the inside trying to get one of his 2 laps back.
Wow, 2-3 wide. What a quagmire right there, back at about the 10th spot.
Jeff Green looked like he thought about going to the inside of Mike Skinner to try to wrestle that lead away.
Everybody's sitting there wrestling around. They got that full load of fuel. They've got those cold tires and low air pressure, and they're just wiggling around, slicing around on the track until they get heat in them tires.
Again, we heard a lot of teams, pretty much all teams, scuffed their tires, so they really don't have sticker tires out there. But it takes even the scuffed tires probably 7 or 8 laps to get in.
It's still the heat. It's still the air pressure and that swinging pendulum they got with that full load of fuel.
See, Eric Darnell now is taking over the 2nd spot. Colin Brown taking over 3rd. And here comes Ron Hornaday.
Ron
up to the 4th spot.
charging toward the front. He had difficulties early on, a very loose race truck. They made an adjustment, actually did a shock adjustment to this race truck, so it was a long pit stop. It moved him to the back of the field. He's battled back, and now a battle for the lead. Mike Skinner having to fight off that 8 of Chad McCumbee. He's actually a lap down. The 99, though, of Eric Darnell is right there battling with Skinner. Ray Dunlap.
Well, Rick, just want to give you an update. Remember, on lap 25, Skinner went with 4 tires, but his truck got very loose on that last run. So Slugger Labby decided to do right side tires only. That should help tighten his truck up. So on lap 66, the 5 truck went with right sides only.
What do you think, Doug?
Well, I think that's a very good call right now. It seems like he's got the good track position. His lap times are pretty respectable. They're in the 31-second bracket. So we'll see if that pays off. A loose truck, you can't use the throttle. We talk about the power. We talk about the tapered spacers and the disadvantages. It still comes down to the guy that's got 100% a wide open throttle is going to go to the front.
And guys, we've just been told that the 23 truck has informed NASCAR that they will not come back to the racetrack. There was so much damage, they don't feel like there's any way that they can repair that truck in time before the end of the race.
Well, beneficially, I mean, they would come back out and maybe gain 3 points for one position. Are you saying that those 3 points are going to be pivotal in this championship?
Well, they could be, but if there was any way possible, Trip Bruce and his guys would jump on that truck and get it back on the racetrack, because they know every point matters, whether it's 3 points for one position, 6 points, 9 points, whatever the case may be. We don't know. There's a lot of this race left. We don't know who's going to fall out in the next few laps of this race, and those would potentially be trucks that Johnny Benson could pass, but there's too much damage.
Mike Skinner out in front of the field. His teammate now standing by with the driver of the 23, and that is Johnny Benson with Adam Alexander.
And Johnny has just walked from the infield care center. It certainly appeared like a tire went down. To give you any warning, Johnny?
None at all. The truck was perfect. Trip Bruce and those guys every week just give me great things to race, and zero warning. I mean, it was just a little free and not bad at all. You know, just cruising right along, and as they say, they ever come out and they do it straight in the fence. So I think we're pretty much done for today.
Unofficially a 1-point advantage as of now. Quick thought on the championship as we go down the stretch.
It doesn't matter right now, so I mean, we're done for today, and we'll have to just pick up the pieces for later. But there ain't no doubt, Dad, we had a fast truck, and it was just flawless. I mean, I'm still real surprised that happened, because it would give zero indication of that. Thing drove just incredible, and just you know, it's kind of out there biding our time. Wasn't even running as hard as it probably could have run. You know, I was backing off early and doing the things. It'd run wide open all the way around here. So it, you know, I started backing off. Knew we did have some laps on the tires, but not enough that should have happened.
Tough break for Johnny Benson, and guys, more problems on the track.
Yeah, we definitely wanted to give the respect, obviously, to our point leader coming into this race and hear his side of the story. While he was talking, the 2 of Jack Sprague and the 10 of Brendan Gaughan got into it, and you see the damage now on the 2 of Jack Sprague. He's not happy at all. Brendan Gaughan was turned around. He kept going. But the safety crew's now attending to these 2 drivers.
Yeah, I've been watching Brendan. He really had a pretty good truck. He was making his way towards the front. And I know hometown here in Las Vegas, I don't know how much this race means to him. You see Jack walking away right now. He's obviously not happy.
He's still looking at the racetrack, waiting, I think, for a driver to come around.
That's a look right there that he probably had some help in that damage right there.
And you see Brendan pointing back at him. I mean, Jack was looking at Brendan like, what are you doing? Brendan pointing right back at him. Are we going to see something else on pit road tonight?
Well, you know, there's 2 sides to every story. Ray, what's going on down there?
Well, guys, this all began on lap number 1 of the race. Jack Sprague got up underneath the back left rear of the number 10 and hit him, and Brendan came on the radio saying, what in the world is Sprague doing? They had to check the truck there to make sure there wasn't any tire damage. So this all, I think, got started on the very first lap of the race between the 10 and the 2.
So this has been going on for quite some time. Here is the incident right here. Brendan Gaughan had to chase his truck up, caught the left rear.
And that's what I talked about earlier. The truck on the inside loses the aero, loses the side fork. Brendan, he chased that truck up the track there just a little bit, and he got right into the quarter panel of the 2 and sent them around.
We saw that 3 times with the 11 of David Starr last week. Now, it wasn't necessarily a situation where he got loose because of an arrow, but he was on the bottom, slid up into those other trucks. Brennan's really pretty fortunate. There's not a great deal of damage to that truck like I thought there was going to be.
Yeah, no, Brendan was running some really good lap times. He was one of the guys that we saw starting to move that groove up over here in 3 and 4, and it was working for him.
Now we see the right side of his truck. That was what made contact with the 2 of Jack Sprague, and it doesn't look like any damage to the right front. But we're under our 5th caution of the race. These 2 trucks got into it. The worst is felt by Jack Sprague in the 2. That wrecked truck will have to go behind the wall and make major changes. Welcome back to the Quick Liner Las Vegas 350. Las Vegas Motor Speedway, obviously exciting things taking place on the racetrack and off. Johnny Benson behind the wall. That team is not going to make it. The 2 and the 10 just getting involved, bringing out our most recent caution. And now it's time to test your Truck Series knowledge with the Aaron's Lucky Guess Trivia question. Hornaday and Benson have won 8 of the last 10 Truck Series races. Who were the other 2 race winners in this stretch?
I know.
Doug?
Don't say yet.
Well, okay.
You can't. Just think about it. We'll be firing that answer at you shortly. We promise we'll be firing that answer at you shortly. We want to take another look at what just took place. As you see the strip back behind us here, this is another look here.
See Brennan on the inside. The 2 of Jack Sprague gets very, very close to Brennan as they get down in turn number 1. Took a little bit of air off that rear spoiler. Brennan had to chase that truck up the hill, made a little bit of contact with the left rear corner, turned Jack around into the outside wall.
And it's easy to do, and a little slip, you know, there's not much room here.
Exactly, and people probably can't comprehend how fast that is happening. Brendan gone on the inside. That truck wiggles a bit. He has got to catch it, and he's got to do it within a fraction of a second.
He has to have more racetrack to catch it. He can't turn the wheel because the truck is already loose, and when he doesn't turn the wheel, the truck goes straight, and he went straight into the 2 of Jack Sprague. It happens all the time.
Yeah, until those tires get the grip, it can't complete the corner. And it was just obvious there when he got into the corner panel of Jack Sprague.
There's the damage to the number 2 RV rental, Camping World Chevrolet. Speed at Martinsville Speedway have a special deal for you. $79 can get you a ticket to the Sprint Cup race on October 19th and a general admission ticket to the Craftsman Truck Series race the day before for free. Also, you receive an exclusive question and answer dinner with Speed personalities in the Martinsville Hospitality Chalet following the Kroger 200 NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series race. Just call 1-877-RACE-TICKETS. That's RACE TIX, and ask for the Speed offer. Do you notice how I did the number there?
Great. Terrific. Nice job.
Adam Alexander.
And Jack Sprague has walked from the infield care center. Jack, it certainly appeared issues with Brendan gone after the incident. Take us through what happened on track.
Pretty self-explanatory. Guys gave me a great truck. We fired off. We weren't very good at all, and already made a lot of changes, and it was coming around good. It just took me a few laps to get going there, and you know, I raced Brendan underneath him most of the race, never touched him, so I don't know what his excuse is, just got taken out. But just want to thank everybody at KHI Chevrolet and all our sponsors, Camping World, American Commercial Lines, Georgia Boots, VWF, and Ream, and I don't know, I can't catch a break, but guys they were working hard. They were trying to get me to where I could get up there closer to the front. It seems like me and Ron were both struggling a little bit, but there's no reason for that.
And it's a situation of what else can go wrong for Jack Sprague as we're back under green, guys.
Things are going right for his teammate, Ron Hornaday, making the move on the outside, moving up into the 3rd spot now. So Ron Hornaday, who started on the pole, dropped way back because of an ill-handling race truck, is now back in the top 3.
Yeah, he got by the 6 of Colin Brown on the restart. Now going to try to chase down the 99 of Eric Darnell and the 5 of Mike Skinner.
With that move, Ron Hornaday, now your new points leader in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. So Hornaday in the top 3. As we look back from Mike Skinner's onboard, he is leading this race. Eric Darnell just behind him.
You can see everybody being just a little bit tentative with their trucks on these restarts, feeling them out. What do I got now? Do I have any garbage on my tires while I'm riding around on caution? And then it seems like they run 2-3 laps and they kind of settle into their groove. But Ron Hornaday's truck is looking pretty good. Darnell now looking to the inside of Skinner. Looks like he might try to make the move here.
Eric Darnell trying to take the lead away from Mike Skinner.
Great side-by-side run there with that new paint scheme on that 99. The program, the Northern Tool Paint My Ride. Number 99, it looks like Eric Darnell will take that ride to the lead.
New leader in Las Vegas. It's Eric Darnell has taken his 99 Northern Tool Ford up to the front. And you see right behind him, Colin Brown trying to take a position away from the 33 of Ron Hornaday. And here comes the 30. Who's he going to get in behind?
Remember, Ron Hornaday took that spot away from Colin Brown on the restart. Colin's going to fight on the inside. He's going to be able to get by that 33. And here comes Todd Bodine.
Todd Bodine takes the momentum, runs to the inside of that 33. And now Hornaday, it looks like he's peeking out in the top 4 or 5 positions. And here comes the 14 of Rick Crawford as well.
Yeah, the 33 truck seems like he's just going up a little bit higher than he wants to. I'm not sure whether he's loose or it's just a little bit tight going up. But you see him underneath the 30 truck of Todd Bodine.
Now, did Todd Bodine run him off the racetrack right there? Because Todd Bodine was right on the white line and Hornaday was on the apron.
Well, there's not that much banking on the straightaway, so you can definitely run down there below the right line. But in answer to your question, yes, he did move him down to the bottom of the racetrack.
And it did look like he ran him down there now, but the spotter's up on top, and if he doesn't have the right angle, he might not have saw him coming down there, and he just run that preferred line, and Hornaday was there.
Well, Hornaday has dropped back now. It's Rick Crawford that has moved in front of him. So Crawford into the top 5, Hornaday back down into the 6th position. Tell you what, he has moved all over this racetrack. Ron Hornaday, an ill-handling truck early. It was very loose. They did a shock adjustment at their first stop. That they thought had fixed the problem. So Hornaday battled all the way back up to the front. He was as high as 3rd, and now he's dropping back again. He's 6th.
We saw that situation right there on the straightaway. We see Ron look to the inside of Todd. Now he's got his nose right up next to Todd's quarter panel. We saw Ron dip below the white line there. All these trucks, when they qualify, will drop below that white line to shorten the straightaway up. So that really wasn't that much of an issue.
Yeah, I guarantee that Todd Bodine didn't know he was there because Hornaday got such a run. He was on the outside of Hornaday. He got the run down to the inside, and all of a sudden, boop, I'm there.
After we've passed 11 o'clock on the East Coast, we appreciate you staying up with us for the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series race here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. The huge story of the night has to be the 23 of Johnny Benson in the garage right now, and they have parked that truck because of a right front tire going down, and Johnny Benson in the wall hard. We have a new point leader. Actually, this shows Hornaday because he's dropping back. Johnny Benson still holding that point lead, and that's how volatile these points are.
And that's how quickly it can change. We talked about how last year the point battle flip-flopped between Hornaday and Skinner. I didn't think that Ron was going to be able to grab enough points here because Johnny Benson looked like he had such a great truck. But with the problems that he's had in the garage area, Ron Hornaday, if he can run to the end without any trouble, he's going to be right around even with Johnny, maybe a little bit ahead of him, maybe a little behind him, but we've got a great point battle right now.
Yeah, it's a great point battle right now, but Ron, like you said, Ron Hornaday has to complete the night. He's got to do everything right. Let's, hope
he just got 5 more points right there, Doug.
That's right. He got another spot, but he's got to run to the end to get all those points right now. So hopefully he don't have trouble, and we'll see a continuing battle.
55 laps to go in this race. We talked about the pit window between 55 and 60. We don't think anyone's going to be able to make it all the way to the checkered flag, so we'll have at least one more pit stop. Hey, Ray, how about the 10? How is Brendan Gaughan doing after this most recent incident with Jack Sprague?
Well, they got in that spin, Rick, but realize everybody else that's out on the racetrack, just about all the other competitors, pitted at lap 66. Now, Brendan came down pit road at 78, so that gives him a 12-lap window on most of the other guys. But what's really impressive is Brendan restarted in 20th position and has already worked his way back up to 11th, really moving forward right now. He's very, very happy with his truck, and as you said earlier, what a special place it is right here at Las Vegas, and he gives it a little bit extra effort when they come to this racetrack. But he does have that 12-lap window there where some of these guys may very well get in a situation where they may have to pit under green. Brendan can stay on the racetrack.
Take a look at this. Todd Bodine and Colin Brown continuing to battle on the racetrack. Colin Brown in front of Bodine for that third spot.
Colin's trying to equal his career best. He had a third-place run earlier this year. That's his best career finish. This team's getting stronger and stronger. They've had such bad luck. They've torn up a lot of trucks, not of their making. Mike Beam said, we know we're fast. They always qualify well. Here's Todd Bodine's going to take over that third spot right now. And this was his best career start, starting on the front row.
Eric Darnell has taken the top spot away from Mike Skinner. Colin Brown has dropped a spot to Todd Bodine, and Ron Hornaday now holding on to a top 5 spot. It has been an unbelievable evening already as we've just passed the halfway point. Our point leader behind the wall, and tippers continue to flare in Las Vegas. Welcome back. Jason White now on pit road as they're working on the back deck lid, trying to get it back down. It had folded up and almost come off of that race truck. But we are under our 6th caution of the night. This one came out on lap 96. And now the field makes their way onto pit road. Let's go down there to AA.
What a night it has been for the rookie. Colin Brown got his best career start coming into this evening, starting on the outside of the front row, and he's been good ever since. Currently running 4th. He will come down pit road for what will be their final stop of the night at lap 97. Mike Beam said we'll make a slight chassis adjustment to help tighten you up. Right side tires only for Colin Brown. Bottom of your screen, Todd Bodine. They're looking 4 tires, air pressure to help tighten him up. Right on lap.
It'll be 2 tires only for Eric Darnell with this special paint scheme on it. He's going to race Skinner out. Those two side by side. He comes in as the leader, but he'll go out second. Right side tires for Eric Darnell.
So obviously some
long pit stop for Ron Hornaday. You see him still on pit road with 4 tires. He's going to pull out right in front of the 30 of Todd Bodine.
Well, Phil, I think his truck wasn't quite right. We saw him not really getting to the front there, and they must have chose maybe to make another shock change or another lengthy change that they're going to lose a lot of track position there.
How about Scott Speed staying out on the racetrack, and he will take over the lead of this race. He got his first win earlier this season at Dover. Could he make it to tonight? Well, again, fortunes have changed in Las Vegas. And welcome back to the Quick Liner Las Vegas 350. Las Vegas Motor Speedway, Sin City, Las Vegas, Nevada. It's time to answer our Aaron's Lucky Guess trivia question. Again, 2 dominant racers, Hornaday and Benson, have won 8 of the last 10 races. Who were the other 2 race winners in this stretch? And one of them was really close to Johnny Benson.
1 3/8 inches. It was Eric Darnell at Michigan, and Kyle Busch, the guy that probably hasn't won in many other races this year.
Yeah, maybe not in the past 4 or 5 hours.
Exactly, but he won Bristol in that Mikasuki Toyota.
Here's the 08 right here, Jason White. He's the reason for this caution flag. He was riding through turn number 4. They just lost control. Does a nice job keeping that truck out of the outside wall. Shane Sieg did a very nice job avoiding that, and we're getting ready for a restart.
John Andretti and Scott Speed are running up in front. They did not come onto pit road. How about Eric Darnell? He moves to the outside before the start-finish line.
You can do that if he waited till the green flag was out, but he looked pretty early. You just see Mike Skinner battle back on the inside. I'm sure NASCAR will look at that. Hopefully Eric was in the right there, did not move until the green flag was out.
Eric Darnell looked to the outside of Mike Skinner right on the restart now. Eric Darnell has moved up to 3rd. Mike Skinner has dropped back. How about the 18 of Dennis Setzer mixing it up front? 3 wide now for 2nd.
Eric Darnell goes around this 22 of Scott Speed on the outside.
Eric Darnell, the man on the move. He moves up to 2nd, right behind John Andretti.
Now he moves to the inside of John Andretti. Ooh, he's getting loose.
Having to check up to not get into that 15 of John Andretti. He backs off, and look at the momentum now of these trucks making the move up behind him.
But what a veteran move by John Andretti. He realized that Eric Darnell was down there and getting loose and needing more room, and he gave it to him.
Moved up the racetrack. Adam Alexander.
And we should point out, guys, John Andretti leading this race. It's a fuel mileage strategy. They came down at lap 76, topped off. They stayed out under caution when everyone pitted at lap 98. But as you can see, those older tires have him being hounded right now by the 99 of Eric Darnell.
We got a little bit loose on the inside of Eric when Eric drove around the outside. Eric takes that forward back to the lead.
Eric Darnell out in front of the field once again. Darnell has led 14 laps in this race. This will make it 15 as he crosses the start-finish line. Dropping back to second now, the 15 of John Andretti. That 8 is a lap-down truck. That's Chad McCumbee that's in there. He's 2 laps down to the field. Back there behind John Andretti, Mike Skinner, Scott Speed running 4th, and Dennis Setzer your top 5.
You saw him on the restart there. Darnell got a really good restart, but what happened, the 5 truck was right there with him too. He got hung behind the lap down truck, and he got hung in there. He couldn't make, now that he's running all the using all the racetrack, he seems to be gaining some ground back.
Oh, trouble. Very close to getting into the walls. They came off before, and now sliding through the infield of 16 of Brian Scott. He was sideways when he came out of 4, Phil.
Yeah, so was the 09 of Bobby East. So we had a couple trucks sideways coming off 4. That seems to be the trouble spot tonight, turn 4.
We have seen numerous trucks get out of sync and out of whack coming out of turn number 4, and most recently now it's the 16 of Brian Scott.
You know, some of that is caused with the track configuration that you've got here. As you're going through there, you've got all that lateral load in the middle, but the trial will let you start unwinding the wheel, and you get up there and you lose that lateral load, and it really just snaps loose on them.
Looks as though Bobby East may have more damage than Brian Scott in this incident. Let's take another look at what happened in turn 4.
See Bobby East way up. Ooh, it looked like the 16 of Brian Scott just got sideways. Bobby East was way out on the outside, and then looked like he maybe ran into the back of another truck or avoided that other truck, and it put him in the outside wall.
He was trying to catch his truck and moved out and caught the outside wall, so a lot of damage to the right front of that truck. So another incident on the racetrack. It's the 7th caution of the night. This time, a rookie in the 16 of Brian Scott has problems, as well as Bobby East. We'll be right back for more in Vegas. Welcome back. Quickliner Las Vegas 350 to be determined very shortly, as we have been slowed down by 7 cautions this evening. The most recent for Brian Scott, the 09 of Bobby East. Lucky Dog singing by. The 08, that's Jason White. He goes by, and we'll get the Aaron's Lucky Dog. So grab a lap back for Jason White. He's back on the lead lap. So there are 22 trucks on the lead lap. The field being led by Eric Darnell. John Andretti has been able to stay up front. He sits second. Mike Skinner, with a little fresher tires, at least on the right side, he is running in the 3rd position. Scott Speed runs 4th, and Dennis Setzer in 5th.
You know, the top 5 trucks ran their fastest lap of the race right before that caution flag came out, either on lap 104 or lap 105. So this racetrack is getting faster. These trucks are getting faster.
A little bit cooler conditions, the track cooling down a little bit, a little more grip, and obviously they're taking advantage of that. Well, with just 37 to go, gentlemen, can Eric Darnell hold off the hard-charging Mike Skinner or Scott Speed, who's dropping back just a bit on the restart? How about Dennis Setzer having that dodge up front?
Yeah, Dennis Setzer's really turned that program around. Him and Marcus Richmond, his crew chief. But I'll tell you, Eric Darnell has proven to be very, very strong. We know the 5 of Mike Skinner is strong. We know the 33 of Ron Hornaday is strong. But right now, we've got Tabodine back in 8th, Hornaday's back in 10th. And the 5 of Mike Skinner is the closest one to those guys in 3rd right now.
Yeah, and I think the big picture that we've been looking at all night, when Johnny Benson went behind the wall because of the crash, our points battle. Ron Hornaday is back right now in the 10th spot, so he is not leading in the points, but still has the potential to come out of here with the lead. Green flag back in the air. Eric Darnell holding off the 15 of John Andretti as they enter turn number 1.
Eric Darnell's racing the 8 of Chad McCumbee. Chad trying to get one of his laps back. He's 2 laps down. Mike Skinner on the inside of John Andretti. He's going to get, he's going to try not to get hung in behind that 8 truck.
And that's what happened to him on that last restart. We got on the inside there, and he got hung behind the lap truck. It's going to be crucial. Can he get by?
He cleared the 15 of John Andretti, so now he can go inside or outside.
He's trying to the inside. Mike Skinner trying to move to the inside of the 8 of Chad McCumbee. He will take second over from the 15 of John Andretti, and now he will chase down that 99 of Eric Darnell.
Dennis Setzer has taken over the 3rd spot from the 15 of John Andretti. There's Mike, 3 wide right there. There's John Andretti on the outside, Dennis Setzer in the middle, and here comes Todd Bodine.
Todd Bodine, another one of those strong drives. Oh, a little bit wiggle from 18 of Dennis Setzer. He has to catch that race truck.
There was a lot of a wiggle right there.
He'd just be glad that there wasn't a truck on his outside. He would have really gone. Here's the 51 down on the inside. Another one forced down off the racetrack.
Shane Sieg having to go to the apron once again. We've seen that before. Adam Alexander, what happened with that 18?
Well, the last 3 pit stops that they've taken tires have been either right sides or left sides. They've not taken all 4. And in fact, when they came down to lap 98, it was fuel only. So they may be at a little bit of a disadvantage as far as the tires are concerned. And that may be the reason we're seeing Dennis Setzer slide all over the racetrack, Ray.
And Adam, I think we have to start talking about points racing, and that certainly goes back to the last round of pit stops at lap 98. You know, Doug, you were asking whether or not they did a shock change on 33. Absolutely not, but they did go with 4 tires, and Rick Wren said, I don't care if it's a slow stop. You make sure that all the lug nuts are tight. They came in running 4th and went out 15th. That's because they went for a 4-tire stop and a slow one just to make sure they're good to go to the end, because the 33 team is certainly points racing after seeing what happened to the 23.
We're trying to catch our breath up here, and I'm sure at home you're doing the same thing. Our points battle almost included Matt Crafton because Ron Hornaday about got that truck in serious troubles.
Here's Dennis Setzer right there. Just a few moments ago, he had a pretty anxious moment over in turns 3 and 4. Watch right of your screen. He's in the middle of a 3-wide situation. He's on the inside of Colin Brown. He gets loose. He has to chase that truck up the hill.
We're going to take another look at that, but we talked about earlier that 6 truck went on the outside of Dennis Setzer and took the air off that rear blade, and he went in there and just got loose. He was very lucky he saved that truck.
Rick, you were talking a few moments ago. Watch Ron Hornaday right now. See him on the inside of Matt Crafton right of your screen. He's going to get loose. He's going to have to chase it up the hill and just barely avoids that 88 of Matt Crafton.
That could have been big right there. If he would have caught that quarter panel of Matt Crafton, you would have saw a bad wreck.
And those are right now 2nd and 3rd in the points. So we have got an unbelievable points battle building up once again in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. Eric Darnell doesn't want to do anything but get to victory lane right now. He would love to see these laps continue to click off, but Mike Skinner is right behind him trying to reel him in.
Hey, we see some side-by-side racing. Here's some 3-wide racing. What do you think we're going to see when we go to Talladega in a couple weeks?
4 and 5 wide.
4 and 5, that's just going to be the normal groove.
Yeah.
You're going to see those trucks all in a 35 truck pack, and they're not going to leave each other.
I'm going to tell you, you don't want to miss that one.
No, it'll be exciting. Again, that's 2 weeks from now, Talladega. Now Rick Crawford moves to the inside, takes the spot away from Hornaday.
We've seen that a lot where Ron Hornaday drives in the corner, Doug, and just washes up the hill and just loses the front end of that truck and gets passed on the inside.
You know, I've watched him do that several times, and it looks like he, you know, when you go down in the corner like that, you got to turn that steering wheel, and I think he's a little too free to be able to go in and put that input to pull it to the bottom, and it sends him up the racetrack.
Ron Hornaday taking a spot away from Dennis Setzer, so that'll move him up to 8th. Eric Darnell trying to hold off Mike Skinner here at Las Vegas. See how his luck turns out when we return. Welcome back. This race slowed once again. The caution coming out as Terry Cook and the 19 of Rob Brent get into each other, and they spin down the backstretch. You see the damage to the 19, so contact was made. Now Terry Cook was 11 laps down already, so he was off the pace, obviously, in this race, and the 19 of Rob Brent now a lap down because of that.
Yeah, too bad for Terry Cook. He came in this race 10th in points. They had an extended period of time on pit road, and that's why he got the 11 laps down. I'm sure Terry just trying to ride it out, and we don't know exactly what happened with the 19 of Rob Brent.
What a big night it has been for the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. Only one time in the history of this series has the championship been settled before the final race. 74 points separated Johnny Benson and Ron Hornaday at the start of this race. Johnny Benson into the wall hard on lap 66, and that ended his night. So our points leader off the racetrack, and now Ron Hornaday trying to make all of those points up in one race. The points have really tightened up. Hornaday is going to have to finish up in the top 5, maybe better than that position to be able to take over the point lead when we leave Las Vegas. He is out of the truck, but he is still 14 points in front of Ron Hornaday. We'll be back for the finish of this one right after these messages. Welcome back. Quick liner Las Vegas 350. They're letting the field know next time by they will see the green flag once again. This one coming right down to the final laps. Ray Dunlap.
Give you a little update on the number 99 of Eric Darnell. He said he really likes it when he can get his truck down to the bottom, getting close to that white line. He said it steers through the corner a lot better than halfway up the track. And guys, remember, this is the truck that they won with at Michigan in that unbelievable finish with Johnny Benson right at the line. It's chassis number 58. It already has one victory this year. Adam?
And speaking of winning trucks, his teammate two behind him, we're talking about Colin Brown, who's driving the same truck that Travis Kvapil took to victory lane here at Las Vegas 1 year ago. And I think one of the reasons he has been so successful in this, his rookie campaign, some of the veteran leadership. Mike Beam, the crew chief, you see on the far side of the pit box, and he's not the only one. Bobby Hudson, the spotter, a longtime spotter for a number of guys at every level of NASCAR. I think those two veterans have went a long way in helping Colin Brown acclimate himself to NASCAR racing. Perhaps his first win could come here tonight.
You know, Bobby Hudson does a lot more with this team than Spot because he's also in charge of all the bodies and stuff. So I know Mike Beam, they've torn up a lot of trucks this year, and Mike Beam has had Bobby Hudson really, really busy.
22 laps of racing to go when they cross the start-finish line. The green flag back in the air. Here we go. Eric Darnell trying to hold up Mike Skinner.
Pretty good start for Eric Darnell. He has the bottom of the racetrack. That's what he wants. Look at Todd Bodine on the inside taking third. Todd was able to get by the 6 of Colin Brown to take over the 3rd spot. Now he's going to try to go after that 5 of Mike Skinner. There's the 88 right behind. Ooh, problems with Scott Speed in the 22.
He slows on the racetrack. Let's see if he's going to make the hard left turn. He is. He's going to come on to pit road. And so Scott Speed will be on pit road. And the battle continuing up front. Eric Darnell, 2 truck lengths between he and Mike Skinner, but Skinner still charging back behind him. Now, if you were the crew chief on the 5 right now.
He is a crew chief.
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry.
But anyway.
What are you telling your driver right now? We take a look back here. 2 wide and 3 wide once again here at Las Vegas.
I think I'm awfully impressed with that 10 truck right now, Brendan Gaughan. We saw the damage he got from that incident with Jack Sprague, and he's fought his way up into the top 10. Colin
Brown again on the apron of the racetrack. That slows him down enough that Todd Bodine's going to get by him. And we've got spins. It's the 30 of Todd Bodine. He tried to take the move to the inside. He spins in turn number 2. Another caution here at Vegas.
All that started back over here at the start-finish line. Those 2 trucks got together coming to the try over here, and the 30 truck was all upset as he got down into 1. And I think they just kind of finished their little ordeal off when they got over in the corner.
It looked like Todd Bodine was on the outside of the 6, and the 6 was crowded down onto the apron. And then that momentum allowed Todd Bodine to get on the inside of the 6 as he went into the turn, but Todd Bodine couldn't hang on to it and spun in turn 2.
Yeah, fortunately, Todd was able to keep it out of the wall. You see him drive to the inside of Kyle. Then he just got a little bit loose, Doug.
It almost looks like he got a little too low and maybe clipped that apron. And what happens when you touch that apron, it forces that left front tire up in there, and it de-wedges the truck, and it'll cause it to get really loose.
See Colin Brown go by on the inside. Todd's going to try to fight back on the inside, and when he got there, he just got loose.
Yeah, he wasn't too low there, so the truck got loose, but that was a factor of the aero. And everybody right now, it's the end of the race. Track position so critical, they don't want to lift.
At 30 on pit road, Adam Alexander.
And they were a little unsure what happened because there's a blind spot over in turn 2 for the spotters. They did confirm, though, that he spun the race truck, flat spotted the tire, so thus they came down pit road. And Todd said, I have to come this time because they are flat. The 4 tires are on. Todd goes back out onto the racing facility. Unfortunately for him, much deeper in the field than what he would like at this stage of the race.
So Todd Bodine takes the number 30 Lumber Liquidators Toyota Tundra back onto the racetrack. Our Aaron's lucky dog goes to Chad McCumbee. He is now back on the lead lap. So he gets another lap back and puts that truck on the lead lap. There are 21 trucks still on the lead lap here at Sin City. Las Vegas, Nevada, the site of this race. And the points battle has just heated up. Problems with Johnny Benson and Ron Hornaday closing in the gap. Top of the line was running very well in this race. He was battling for a top 2 spot, and then he gets turned around, and in doing so, he has dropped way back at him.
And he came back down pit road at lap 129. Once he had left after getting those 4 fresh tires, he came on the radio and said, something is wrong with the truck. I've got a major vibration. So Mike Hillman Sr., acting as crew chief, said, come down, we'll check, make sure all the lug nuts are tight. He has come down pit road, the crew looking over those tires. And the other thing that they talked about was a possible issue with the transmission. But as you said, Todd Bodine has dropped back in the field. We'll see what progress he makes from here. 16 laps to go as we get set to go back under the green flag.
Bringing them to the green flag. Eric Darnell will see it first. It's in the air. Mike Skinner looked like he was laying back there a little bit on the restart. Let's see if that is any advantage for him. But right now, Colin Brown looks to the inside, tries to take second away.
He is going to make it. He muscles his way up beside that 5 truck of Mike Skinner.
Skinner not backing down, though he fights back on the outside as it's too wide behind them for the 4th spot.
Remember now, the trucks on the inside get awfully loose.
That's exactly what I'm looking at right there, and I hope they have enough room between them. But right there, you'll see the momentum on the outside carries just a little bit better as they come.
Oh, problems right behind him. The 18 spinning. That is Dennis Setzer that gets turned around. And number 18 coming out of turn number 4. We have seen that so many times tonight.
Looked like the 51 of Shane Sieg was also involved in that incident.
A lot of right side damage on the 51 of Shane's truck.
Dennis Setzer stopped on the racetrack. Again, he was coming through turn 4. The back end kicked way out to the right on him.
See all the damage to the left side of that Dodge.
The record for most cautions at this racetrack, 10. We have just tied that. That was our 10th caution of the evening.
See Shane Sieg gets a little bit loose, chases it up the hill. We're just talking about the truck on the inside getting loose, Doug, and it happened.
And there it was, right behind the group of trucks that we were talking about, and it just takes a little tap, and away they go.
Is this another incident where we're just a little too impatient on cold tires? I mean, they just didn't have enough time. It was a restart.
Hey, we're inside of 20 laps to go. It's time to go.
You can't be impatient with 20 to go?
No. Well, you can be impatient, yeah. You need to be a little bit impatient.
I think they are right now.
Real time, you see a lot of damage on Shane Sieg's truck there, the 51. He got up against the wall. You can see it there. They're going to have to get those fenders away from them tires right there. That would definitely rub. So they got some work to do there. We've got Dennis Setzer now with a flat left front and a lot of right rear damage.
Yeah, a lot of damage to that race truck as he continues to try to limp around the racetrack until he can get onto pit road. Making his way through 3 and 4, and he will get onto pit road and see if his crew can do anything to that race truck. Safety crews out on the racetrack cleaning up all of the debris. Another caution, a record-setting caution here at Las Vegas. We'll be right back for the finish. Welcome back. Again, a record-setting night for cautions. Nellis straightaway, the backstretch here, just past the backstretch at this racetrack is Nellis Air Force Base. Hence the name. The safety crews cleaning up this racetrack. 10 times we have been slowed by caution.
You know, a lot of times, some of that caution number is inflated by debris and things like that. But we've had spins. We've had contact that caused spins. We've had trucks spin by themselves. It's really unusual. But, but we saw a little bit of that with a guy struggling so much in practice trying to get a hold of this racetrack. This is the 3rd year when we, since we've reconfigured this racetrack. And, the racetrack loses grip a little bit more each and every year, doesn't it, Doug?
But the other reason you're seeing all these cautions right now, yes, they're running out of laps. And yes, they're running this track like a super speedway. You can't lift. You lose momentum. So they're going in there, and they're looking at a hole, and they're trying to take it and hope they make it through because they don't want to lift.
We're seeing the draft come into play here. I mean, guys are slingshotting around other drivers as they come through the corner, keeping that momentum up. And so they are using the draft. Take a look at our points as we run. Again, the big story, Johnny Benson out of this race. He cut a right front tire. They smashed that truck into the wall. Johnny Benson is fine, but points-wise, he's not doing so well this evening. Hornaday just 1 point back. Ron Hornaday in the 5th spot tonight.
How about Eric Darnell? Has jumped all the way up to the 4th position. Eric came in here in 6th, so a gain of 2 spots if the race were to end right now.
The lights are out on the pace car. That means that when we come back around, the field will get the green flag. We will have 11 laps to go. We don't want to see it slowed by a caution again. And Doug, I'm guessing that you would rather this race go all the way to the end. Oh, and we're hearing that they're going to turn the lights back on. Doug, we're talking about, obviously, you are in a situation where you had committed to broadcasting with us, but you're also the crew chief for the 5. What do you think? Should you talk to your driver right now?
Well, you know, maybe we should just check in on him here. Mike Skinner, Doug Richard up in the booth here. Godby?
Yeah, man. What's happening?
Well, there's a whole lot happening from where I'm looking at it up here in the booth, and I'm watching that number 5 Toyota Tundra look like it's hanging in there. What do you think? You got a shot at him?
I don't know. He's pretty strong, but we're going to give it our best. You can count on that. And if he slips, we'll get him. If he don't, we're just going to have to try to make this Tundra as wide as we can so they don't get us.
Well, the one thing I have saw tonight is I don't think it's over until it's over. And we do have still 11 laps to go, 10 when you get back around. So just drive the wheels out of it, buddy. You guys are doing a good job tonight.
Thank you, man. We miss you. Slugger's done a good job, though.
Tim Ford.
And that is Slugger Labby on top of the box right now. Now, guys, whenever you go to the ice cream store and you get a single scoop, that's just one scooper, right? And if you get an extra one, then that's a double dip, right? Well, anyway, Doug, my question is, whenever you look at the all-time crew chief win list, you got to see that Doug Richard is right there on that list, having wins with Ron Hornaday and also wins with Carl Edwards. So Doug right in there with 10 wins. But boy, what I don't know is, does he get 11 tonight if Skinner gets a victory, or do we add Slugger Labby to the list somewhere and give him a 1? I don't know. That might be a NASCAR call. We'll have to figure that one out.
Ray, I think on the official list, I think Doug Richard is on there as the crew chief of the number 5.
Well, yeah, we're just going to say it that way.
We're just wondering, Doug, if he gets to victory lane, are you going to leave us and go down there?
Hey, let's watch it. Let's watch
That's a good idea. Let's find out. 10 laps of racing to go. Eric Darnell in front of Mike Skinner. Can Skinner get him? A great restart this time. They're all over the back bumper. And here comes Skinner looking to the inside on the restart. Mike talked about a bobble by Eric Darnell. Is there a bobble, or is Mike Skinner just that strong as he tries to make the pass? Here comes Darnell on the outside. A crash behind them and problems at turn 2. That is the 08 of Jason White. Once again, our caution has come out. Again, continuing that record, 11 cautions tonight.
NASCAR is saying that the 99, they went back and looked at the last loop, and the 99 they're saying is a leader. We saw Mike Skinner get the advantage for just a little bit through 1 and 2. Eric Darnell fought back on the outside, and he was ahead when the caution flag was displayed.
Yeah, you can't just carry that momentum on the bottom like that. He did get a good run. It almost looked like Eric Darnell might have bobbled a little bit on that start because the whole field was charging down on him.
Eric Darnell was moving to the outside. And as NASCAR has said, Eric Darnell will restart in front of the 5 of Mike Skinner, but what a close situation there. This race scheduled to go 146 laps. And we've completed 137. We're inside 10 laps. It will again be a single file restart.
And what a huge difference that would have made if Mike Skinner would have been ahead when the caution flag was displayed at the most recent loop. He would have had the clean air, been able to restart it at his own pace. That could have been a huge difference in this outcome.
Yeah. Wasn't able to finish that pass as they're going through 2, and then the caution came out as the 08 of Jason White got into the wall in turn 2.
That top 5 up there, they're going to be giving it everything they've got right there. And if anyone gives them an inch, they're going to try to take a mile when they get a little bobble like that. I think we're not done seeing the action here tonight. I think that's just the start of it.
It's just heating up. Not only do we have a phenomenal points race once again in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series, 4 points the difference now, but a different name on top. Ron Hornaday in front of Johnny Benson because Hornaday has moved up into the 4th spot ahead of Matt Crafton. Lights stay on the pace car, so they will go around at least one more time. Means the earliest we will restart this race is 6 laps to go. Eric Darnell in front of Mike Skinner. Colin Brown runs 3rd, looking for a career best finish. Ron Hornaday, our new point leader at this time, running in the 4th spot, and Matt Crafton has dropped back into the 5th position.
Hey, we talked to Mike Skinner. Let's see if we can talk to our leader, Eric Darnell. Hey, Eric Darnell, Phil Parsons, can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you, Phil.
Eric, you guys have had a great, strong truck all night. Now, Mike Skinner got a good restart there and got up beside you, but you fought back on the outside. What do you think for the rest of this thing?
Well, our Northern Tool and Equipment Ford's really good out in clean air. I think Mike's the best in the first couple laps after a restart, but then he seems to fall off a little bit. If we can get going here like we did the restart before and get a little bit of breathing room between him and I, hopefully him and Colin will get to race a little bit, and we can pull ahead a little ways.
Well, we've seen you win with about an inch and a half to spare. Now, a nice truck link would be nice, wouldn't it?
Truck length or more, yeah. I think we got one of the closest finishes and one of the biggest margins of victory. So anything in between would be great. Matt Fuchs and all the guys have done a good job all night. Hopefully we can hold these guys off behind us.
All right, coming down to 1 to go. Finish it off, buddy.
Thanks, Phil.
And we just heard the name Matt Fuchs. Let's go down to Ray Dunlap, who's with him.
Well, thank you. I'm with his crew chief. And Matt, I'm just curious, 2 different restarts there. A minute ago, we saw the 5 truck lay back a bunch, and that time he got up tight. Did you give Eric any inspiration?
Yeah, I've been talking to him here a little bit. These restarts are killing us here. Eric's doing a heck of a job there. That last restart there, Skinner got us a little bit there, but Eric's been going to Hornaday restart school here lately, so we're in Vegas here. My odds are on Eric here for this restart here. We're gonna have about 6 laps to go here, so we'll see what we got.
All right, good luck to you. That's Matt Fuchs, crew chief for Eric Darnell. Adam?
And one guy to watch on the restart will be the 6 of Colin Brown. He just got word from the spotter stand, Bobby Hudson, saying the 33, who was Ron Hornaday behind him, said if you go high, you got a chance to get him. Colin Brown said, is he going to race me? He said, I don't know that. But Ron Hornaday, sitting back there in 4th, said if you go high, you got a chance to pass both Skinner and Darnell. We'll see if that plays out on the restart. The veteran trying to help the rookie here in the latter stages.
And Doug, I think that's true. I think if he does go high. Now, would Ron Hornaday drive to the inside and race him? Absolutely.
You're right. They're gonna race each other as hard as. Now, if I'm Mike Skinner and I'm looking in the mirror, I'm hoping those guys are going to be racing side by side behind us, because that's what Mike needs, is a little bit of breathing room.
What is Mike Skinner doing looking in the mirror? He needs to be looking forward, because he's got to get by that 99 of Eric Darnell. The pace car is off the racetrack. The field back in the hands of the 99 of Eric Darnell. Green flag back in the air. 6 laps of racing to go.
Good restart for Eric Darnell. He opened up a truck length or so in front of Skinner. Skinner's fighting back now.
Here comes the momentum of Mike Skinner on the restart. Colin Brown, does he look to the outside? They're looking tame. Here comes Matt Crafton. Crafton to the outside of that 33 of Hornaday.
Look, he's going to bring Crawford with a 3-wide. Look at John Andretti.
Crafton's on the backstretch again. We've got another one spinning down the backstretch as this continues to unfold in 3 and 4. The caution once again gets brought out, and it's David Starr that turns around in hard contact with the inside wall.
Boy, from about 4th on back, NASCAR is going to have to look at the loop data to determine who is running where, because those trucks were too wide, about 3 or 4 rows deep.
And I just talked about, I didn't think the action was over, and there again. These guys, they're just so hungry right now, and they're just taking so many chances.
Taking a lot of chances. Eric Darnell continues to be our leader. Now, I'm almost guessing we may see a red flag come out here so that the fans get to see a green flag finish to this as we're winding down on the laps. Take another look at what happened.
It's a little contact right there. Looked like the 16 maybe of Brian Scott made some contact with David Starr around David. Went pretty hard contact with the inside wall.
A lot of damage right there to the number 11 Red Horse team.
Ooh, Todd Bodine just barely creeped by on the inside. Yep. He gave David plenty of room, just avoided David. You know, these caution laps are really helping John Andretti. John has had a great race. Right now he's being shown in the 6th spot, pending NASCAR looking at the loop data to determine the restart order. But he's had a great run so far, and these caution laps are really, really helping him because remember, he pitted way, way back and stayed out for track position.
What an eventful week it has been for David Starr. And now the way this is going to end for him, he'll get in the back of the ambulance to go to the infield care center. How about the big story of the evening? Johnny Benson in front of the field, looked as though he was going to dominate this race. A right front tire goes down and slams into the wall in turn number 2. That ends his night, and it also has lost him the point lead.
Well, by the way, now Ron Hornaday has lost a couple positions since this restart. He is now being shown in the 6th spot, so the lead will flip-flop once again to put Johnny Benson back up front.
It is a matter of just a few points that separate these two, depending upon where Ron Hornaday runs on the racetrack. Currently, Hornaday scored in the 6th position, so that will put Johnny Benson back in front by 6 spots or 6 points in front of Hornaday. And Crafton 169 points back. That really puts Crafton right back in this battle as well.
Yeah, absolutely. With the amount of races we have left, 6 after we leave here, that definitely puts Matt Crafton within striking distance. Eric Darnell, he's been running so well lately. He closes to within 209 points, possibly if the race were to end like this.
And how about the variable that we go to next, Talladega? I mean, that is something that you just never know what could happen. The big one, we always hear about that. It could catch a 23 and a 33 in an accident, and Matt Crafton right back in the mix.
And you're exactly right. That's one of those places there that their trucks are so close and they're so tight, and no one's going to lift. No one's going to take anything away. And it might not be your fault. It might be your fault. You just never know. 35 trucks in one pile.
There's Conway Ford right there. We saw Mike Beam a few moments ago up on the pit box. So much experience. He won this race last year with Travis Quapple with this exact truck right here. Colin has done a great job. He's been very aggressive on the racetrack, making passes. He's running right now in the 3rd spot. He tried to make a run at Skinner on this last restart.
And what you actually saw on that restart, Rick, was the 5, as he closed in on the 99 going into 1, he had the Colin Brown truck on his bumper, and they were actually drafting up to the leader there. That's where the draft was coming into play.
Well, Speed Fanatics, Atlanta Motor Speedway is giving NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series and Sprint Cup ticket holders a chance to upgrade their tickets from the seat to the suite. All you've got to do is bring your truck or cup ticket to the speed stage the morning of the race. Enter to win a seat to the suite upgrade, which includes pre-race pit road access and 2 Atlanta Motor Speedway suite tickets. Visit atlantamotorspeedway.com for more information. It looks as though we will have a green-white-checkered finish, but it's not going to be the official green-white-checkered because we're coming down to 3. It'll be 2 laps to go.
We're going to get 1 to go here, which means we're going to restart at lap 145, which means it would be a green-white checker because we will go 1 lap beyond the prescribed distance.
And you're exactly right, Phil.
Thank you.
NASCAR confirmed that for you. I just wanted to throw that in. I always like to point out when you are correct.
Well, thank you. It's so rare.
No,
I appreciate that.
That's not true. 1 to go. And it's all going to come down to 2 laps. Eric Darnell, Mike Skinner, Colin Brown, and now Matt Crafton has thrown that truck into the mix in the 4th spot. Ray Dunlap, you wouldn't have any idea, any statistics on green-white-checkered finishes, would you?
Well, I know a little bit about it, Rick, and this will be the 75th time we've done it in series history. Only 2 times here at Las Vegas, but keep in mind, remember back in 2005, Todd Bodine beat Ted Musgrave on the very last lap with a last lap pass under green-white-checkered conditions, so that could be a very, very exciting finish to this race. We'll remember that Michigan race that Darnell was involved in, so I think we got a doozy coming this way, but the 75th green-white-checkered in series history.
This is the 8th green-white-checkered, or excuse me, 6th green-white-checkered of 2008.
And remember, I talked about nothing prior to 2006 mattering here. Well, the fact that there was a green-white checker, it didn't matter. That part does matter.
It counts. It definitely counts. The lights are out on the pace car. 2 laps will determine who will go to victory lane at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Who will cash in here in Sin City? Right now, Eric Darnell has a mere full of Mike Skinner. Colin Brown runs 3rd. Matt Crafton 4th. John Andretti in 5th. Hornaday could be your point leader when we leave here. He is in 6th. Rick Crawford runs 7th. Brendan Gaughan back into the top 10. He runs 8th. TJ Bell is 9th. And Jeff Green top 10. Green flag back in the air. Mike Skinner all over the back bumper of Eric Darnell. This time, he's going to go to the high side. Skinner trying to make the move on the outside.
Side by side off for turn 2. We'll see if Eric can fight back on the inside. They're lined up on the outside drafting.
There he goes down the backstretch. It is a drag race. Skinner has the edge. Colin Brown tried to make the move by the 99. Here comes Darnell back on the inside. We will have 1 lap to determine this one tonight. The white flag in the air. Skinner, Darnell cross the start-finish line.
Look at 3 wide there. Remember, if the caution flag were to come out, this race would be over. Eric needs to do something now.
Mike Skinner looking to find victory lane again in his career. Problems behind him. Will that bring out the caution? Not yet. They're holding it out. No caution as of this point. It's going to be a battle. Here comes Eric Darnell. He charges to the outside. Coming out of turn number 4, side by side. Who's going to win it? It is going to be Mike Skinner. Skinner will win it over Eric Darnell.
How about that finish?
Woo! Big crash right in front of the start-finish line. Colin Brown with a lot of damage. What an unbelievable finish. Congratulations, the winning crew chief. We could do the interview right here. Doug Richard, the winning crew chief for tonight's race. Mike Skinner back in victory lane in 2008.
That was something.
I tell you, Slugger Lobby was joking before the race, because remember we talked about you guys getting into the wall. He said, Doug gave me a wrecked race truck to crew chief here, but it was a pretty good one, looked like. But tough hit there for Colin Brown.
NASCAR's trying to make a call on this right now. As they come down to the line, the 5 truck was ahead of the 99. What will they call? Did the caution come out? Are they going to go back to the last loop? That's what we're going to have to wait and see here.
And remember, here they're coming to the line. You see Eric Darnell makes a great run through 3 and 4 on the outside. He actually pulls ahead of Mike Skinner. See if Mike's going to fight back on the inside. He gets a little bit sideways. He beats Eric down to the line, but NASCAR has to determine if the caution flag were out. It was not, and Mike Skinner is our winner.
Mike Skinner is going to win this race. He'll celebrate in front of the grandstands. What an amazing finish here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway.
I said I wasn't going to get excited, but I think I did.
It's kind of hard not to get excited when the finish ends like that.
You work with this stuff all week long and getting here and the preparation that goes into it. And when you see it cross the line, it's the best feeling in the world you can have.
I'm going to tell you, I guarantee you this has never happened before, where we've had a winning crew chief up in a broadcast booth with us.
Now, hey, and Doug, we will let you go down to victory.
Is it okay if I can go down and join them, maybe?
We would let you go down there and celebrate. That's win number 11 for you in the truck series.
And let's give an attaboy to Slugger, too, who did a great job calling the shots down there.
Yes, sir. I mean, with Slugger, coming off the 22, he usually spots for the 22 in Scott Speed, but he came down. That's Bill Davis racing right there at its best. Everybody working together. I saw 23 guys in the back of our pit. I mean, it's just awesome feeling. Bill Davis, the Toyota Tundra in victory lane, and I'm part of it. That's cool.
Unbelievable. What a great finish.
Yeah, and congratulations, by the way,
Let's look back to what has just taken place here in Las Vegas.
Saw Brendan in the middle there. The 7 of TJ Bell came down a little bit. Got Brendan a little bit loose. Brendan did a nice job trying to save that truck. Around he went. Remember, no caution flag yet as these guys race through 3 and 4. There's another view. You see Brendan got a little bit loose, actually had to chase it up the hill, made a little bit of contact with TJ Bell. Brendan did a nice job trying to save that truck, and here comes the battle for the win. Eric Darnell makes a great run through 3 and 4 on the outside, pulls ahead, but Skinner fights back on the inside.
And we have seen Skinner do this before. He did it to Bobby Hamilton. Those two raced at Atlanta. It was Bobby Hamilton that won that race. Skinner went by sideways. This time, the truck sticks, and he wins it by about 4 feet.
That's where you want the veteran driver in the seat of your truck. He got Darnell. He got him on the outside. He was able to carry that momentum, and that's what got him the position to do that right there.
Our scoring shows him winning by 2/100ths of a second. A very close finish once again in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. It's not only the excitement on the racetrack and the finish of this race, our points battle is now one that separates the top two. 2/100ths of a second separated for the win, 1 point in the championship battle. Welcome back. We hope that you have all caught your breath. Welcome back to Las Vegas Motor Speedway. It is the 5 of Mike Skinner that has won this race. He is making his way into victory lane. It's a very unique victory lane here at Las Vegas. It's actually back in the middle of the garage. Let's go to second place, Eric Darnell, who's with Adam Alexander.
And Mike Skinner victorious, and his pleasure, the disappointment of this guy. And Eric, you've been on the other side of it, that dramatic win on the final lap at Michigan. So take us through what happened here as Skinner got you at the line.
Well, Mike was just a little bit better than us on the restarts. It took us 2 or 3 laps to really get going. And from that point on, we could really kind of drive away from him and check out. But he was pretty good on the restarts. His truck was real good for a couple laps before he got some heat in the tires, and unfortunately it cost us at the end. Northern Stone Equipment Ford was really good tonight. I really wish we would have picked up that win. If we had green flag laps at the end, I think we would have drove away from him. But congratulations to Mike. He did a good job tonight. That's what Truck Series racing is all about. Best racing in NASCAR.
A number of late cautions, eventually a green-white-checker finish, and perhaps that's what takes away win number 2 in 2008 from Eric Darnell.
It's been 22 races since Mike Skinner last won. The gunslinger comes back. Win number 25 in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series career. And what a finish at the line with Eric Darnell. And here he comes in for the big body slam. Mike, it has been a frustrating season for you guys so far, but what an unbelievable finish. Can you believe that?
Yeah, I'll tell you, Eric's truck was awfully good, and that 6 truck was right up my butt, and I knew I was not going to wreck Eric to win the race. I was going to push him, bounce off of him, do whatever I had to do, but he's a friend, he's a class act, and he's a great future in this business. He's a good guy, and but right now the 5 truck's back in victory lane, and I want to thank Tundra. Man, we've struggled, man. I'm telling you, the 5 team has really, really struggled, but Doug Richards came over, and he's a man of his word. He kept his word to television, did TV tonight, and Slugger Labby, he's son of a gun. Slugger stood in for him, and last time I was here with Slugger, I think we qualified 5th in Cup race. But, man, I just thank you. Thank you, Toyota. Gosh darn.